Admiral Jaiwan Park stood on the bridge of the UES Prometheus, watching the stars through the massive viewing port. The ship's dark matter engines hummed quietly, sending small vibrations through the deck. Earth had built these ships in secret over the past decade, ever since scientists detected strange signals from deep space. "Admiral, we have unknown ships entering the solar system," reported Captain Hyunjin, her eyes fixed on the holographic display. 5 vessels, moving fast toward Mars. Park nodded calmly. Humanity had prepared for this moment, first contact with alien life. But they had hoped it would be peaceful. "Their weapons are powering up," Hyunjin said, her voice tense. "They're targeting the Mars colony." Park's decision came without hesitation. Deploy the fleet. Dark matter shields at full capacity. The UES Prometheus and 4 other human warships moved into position. Unlike traditional spacecraft, these vessels appeared as perfect black shapes against the stars, absorbing all light. Their hulls, infused with dark matter technology, could bend space itself. The alien ships, sleek and predatory, slowed as they detected the human vessels. "They're scanning us," said Lieutenant Jae-hwan from the sensor station. "Their communication systems are active." A harsh, clicking language filled the bridge speakers. Though the words were unintelligible, the tone was clearly a warning, or a threat. "They don't know what we are," Park said quietly. "Activate translation protocols and open a channel." Before communication could be established, the lead alien ship fired a bright energy weapon toward the Prometheus. The beam should have torn through any normal shield. Instead, it disappeared into the dark matter field surrounding the human vessel. "No damage," reported Hyunjin with barely contained excitement. "Our shields absorbed the entire energy signature." Park frowned. "They fired first. We have authorization to defend Earth and its colonies." She turned to her weapons officer. "Target their weapons systems only. Minimal force." The Prometheus responded with precision. Beams of concentrated dark matter, visible only as distortions in space, struck the alien vessels. Their shields flickered and failed as if they weren't even there. What followed wasn't really a battle. The alien ships tried to fight, but their weapons couldn't penetrate the dark matter fields, while the human vessels systematically disabled their engines and weapons. In less than 5 minutes, all 5 alien ships floated powerless in space. "They're broadcasting on all frequencies," Jae-hwan said. "Our computers are translating, it appears to be a distress call." Park watched the disabled ships on the main screen. To whom are they calling for help? The answer came 3 hours later when a much larger ship arrived at the edge of the solar system. Unlike the aggressive smaller vessels, this one maintained distance and sent clear communication signals. The translation came through in broken English: "We represent Galactic Council. Those who attacked are criminals. We apologize for this violence. Request immediate diplomatic meeting." Park sent the message to Earth Command and received quick authorization to establish preliminary contact. The Council ship sent visual data, showing a chamber filled with different alien species arguing intensely while viewing recordings of the brief battle. The dark human ships, nearly invisible against space, appearing to absorb energy weapons completely before responding with weapons that ignored advanced shields. One tall, blue-skinned alien stood at a central podium, addressing the others. The translation came through clearly now. "The humans have achieved what we long thought impossible. They have weaponized dark matter itself, the very fabric that holds our galaxy together. Their technology surpasses the defensive capabilities of any known species." The alien identified as Security Director Tae-yong continued, "We must establish peaceful relations immediately. If these humans wish to conquer, their ships could likely move through our territories unchallenged." Back on the Prometheus, Admiral Park watched the Council transmission with mixed feelings. Humanity had hoped to join a peaceful galactic community, but instead found themselves feared from the start. "Send a message," she told her communications officer. "Inform them that Earth desires peaceful relations and knowledge exchange. But make it clear that we developed these ships for defense only, and will use them if necessary." As the message transmitted, Park looked out at the stars again. Humanity had just stepped onto a much larger stage than they'd imagined, armed with technology that apparently shocked the galaxy. "Prepare the ship for diplomatic visitors," she ordered. "And keep our dark matter systems at ready status. First impressions matter, and ours will be strength balanced with restraint." Dr. Miho Kim adjusted his formal uniform collar for the 5th time as the shuttle docked with the massive diplomatic station. 1 month ago, he had been working in his laboratory on dark matter containment systems. Today, he was about to become humanity's first ambassador to the stars. "Stop fidgeting," whispered Lieutenant Subin beside him. "You look fine." Kim took a deep breath. "I'm a physicist, not a diplomat." "Why did they choose me?" "Because you understand the technology they fear," she replied simply. "And fear is what this meeting is really about." The airlock cycled open, revealing a vast chamber designed to accommodate multiple alien physiologies. 12 representatives stood in a semicircle, some tall and willowy, others short and dense. One appeared to be made entirely of crystalline structures that emitted gentle light. The luminescent being stepped forward. "I am High Mediator Yuna. On behalf of the Galactic Council, I welcome humans to the greater community of spacefaring species." Kim bowed slightly. "Earth thanks you for this welcome. We have long hoped we were not alone in the universe." As they moved to a large circular table, Kim noticed how the various aliens maintained careful distance from the human delegation. Their body language, even among species with vastly different anatomies, universally communicated tension. Yuna spoke again, her crystal form pulsing with light. "The Council has existed for 12,000 years. We maintain peace, regulate trade, and ensure technological developments don't threaten galactic stability." Kim nodded politely. "Earth looks forward to learning from your collective wisdom." "Indeed." Yuna's light dimmed slightly. "We are particularly interested in learning about your remarkable ships. The defensive capabilities they displayed are unprecedented." And there it was, the real purpose behind the diplomatic niceties. "Our dark matter technology was developed strictly for defensive purposes," Kim said carefully. "Earth has no expansionist ambitions." A reptilian alien with iridescent scales made a clicking sound that the translators interpreted as laughter. "Every species claims their weapons are defensive only." Kim maintained his composure. "Nevertheless, that is the truth. We developed this technology because we detected signals indicating intelligent life and wanted to be prepared for any scenario." "And prepared you certainly are," Yuna said. "The Council proposes an exchange program. Your scientists could learn from our millennia of accumulated knowledge, while sharing insights about your unique technological approach." Kim knew what she was really asking for: access to dark matter weaponry. "That's a generous offer," he replied. "However, Earth is still adjusting to the reality of galactic civilization. We would need time before sharing sensitive technologies." The tension in the room increased noticeably. Several delegates exchanged glances. Yuna's crystalline form pulsed more rapidly. "Surely you understand our concern. A new species suddenly appears with technology that could potentially destabilize power balances maintained for thousands of years." Kim smiled diplomatically. "Just as surely as you understand our caution. We've only just met. Trust must be earned on both sides." The meeting continued for hours, with Council representatives alternating between veiled threats and generous offers of knowledge and resources, all aimed at gaining access to dark matter technology. During a brief recess, Kim stepped into a private chamber to communicate with Admiral Park, who remained in orbit with the Prometheus and 3 other dark matter ships, hidden just out of phase with normal space. "They're scared," Kim reported. "But also divided. Some see us as a threat to eliminate. Others view us as potential allies." Park's holographic image nodded. "My security team intercepted communications between several delegates. 3 different factions are already planning ways to either steal our technology or neutralize it. Be careful, Doctor." When the meeting resumed, Kim approached with new resolve. When Yuna pressed again about technology sharing, he changed tactics. "High Mediator, let me be direct. Earth understands the Council's concerns. But you should understand ours. We are newcomers to a complex political landscape we don't fully comprehend. Our technology is our only guarantee of security." He paused, looking at each delegate in turn. "However, we propose starting with cultural and scientific exchanges in non-military fields. Let our peoples learn about each other first. Build trust. Then we can discuss deeper technological cooperation." Yuna's crystalline form flickered with what seemed like frustration. "The Council finds these terms limiting. They are the only terms Earth can offer at present," Kim replied firmly. As the meeting concluded with tentative agreements for limited exchanges, Kim knew this was just the beginning of a dangerous diplomatic dance. Outside the station, invisible to conventional sensors, the dark matter fleet shifted position slightly, a silent reminder that humanity would not be intimidated. Even as the reluctant ambassador worked to build bridges across the stars, Lieutenant Commander Dohayan walked silently through the curved corridors of Earth's orbital diplomatic station. The walls were lined with images of Earth's landscapes, placed there to make the human delegation feel at home during the extended negotiations with the Galactic Council representatives. But Dohayan wasn't looking at the peaceful scenes of mountains and oceans. Her eyes tracked the subtle shadows, the corners, the maintenance hatches. 3 weeks into the diplomatic mission, she had developed a sixth sense for when something wasn't right. Something definitely wasn't right tonight. Her hand moved to the small device at her belt, a personal dark matter shield generator, compact but powerful. As the station's security chief, she had insisted on continuing her nightly security sweeps despite the Council's assurances that their joint security protocols were sufficient. "Always trust your instincts," Admiral Park had told her before assigning her to this mission. The Council members speak with unified voices in public, but they represent ancient rivalries and hidden agendas. The truth of those words had become increasingly clear as Dr. Kim gained access to more historical data. The Galactic Council wasn't the harmonious alliance it pretended to be. It was a fragile political construct holding together species that had fought devastating wars against each other for millennia. Dohayan paused at an intersection, listening. The faint hum of the station's life support systems was normal, but there was something else, a barely perceptible vibration through the deck plates. She tapped her communicator. "Security station, this is Dohayan. Are there any authorized maintenance activities on Level 3? "Negative, Commander. All systems nominal. No scheduled work." Dohayan drew her sidearm, a conventional weapon, as the dark matter weapons were too dangerous to use on a space station. She moved toward the research section where Dr. Kim's team stored their data. The door to the main laboratory was closed but unlocked. It should have been both locked and sealed. She pressed herself against the wall and listened. Voices inside. Speaking quietly in a language her translator couldn't catch. Dohayan activated her dark matter shield, a thin layer of protection that would absorb energy weapons but wouldn't damage the station. Then she made her decision. The Empire delegates had been particularly aggressive during negotiations, their tall, muscular forms always positioned near the humans, always asking questions about dark matter technology. Now she would see if her suspicions were correct. She activated her personal phase shifter, a technology still in testing that allowed limited movement through solid matter when combined with a dark matter field. Taking a deep breath, she stepped directly through the wall into the laboratory. 3 figures stood at the main computer terminal, all wearing the distinctive armor of the Empire's elite infiltration units. They spun toward her, weapons raising. "That's far enough," Dohayan said calmly. "You're in a restricted area." The largest infiltrator fired his weapon without hesitation. The energy blast dissipated harmlessly against her dark matter shield. The aliens froze in shock. Their weapons should have penetrated any conventional defense. "How did you?" the leader began. "Walking through walls isn't the only thing dark matter technology is good for," Dohayan replied. She raised her weapon. "Now, you can surrender peacefully, or this gets unpleasant." When station security arrived 3 minutes later, they found 3 Empire infiltrators neatly restrained, their advanced technology confiscated, and Lieutenant Commander Dohayan calmly documenting the intrusion. The diplomatic fallout was immediate. Dr. Kim called an emergency session with all council representatives, the evidence of Empire espionage displayed for all to see. This is a serious breach of diplomatic protocol, Kim stated firmly. Earth entered these talks in good faith. The Empire's chief diplomat, a scarred veteran named Wonjae, showed no remorse. All species seek advantages. You humans are naive to think otherwise. Perhaps, Kim replied. But now we understand the true nature of council politics. High Mediator Yuna's crystalline form pulsed with what humans had learned to recognize as agitation. The Empire's actions do not represent the Council as a whole. We condemn this breach. But the damage was done. Trust, already fragile, was shattered. Later, in the privacy of the human quarters, Dr. Kim reviewed the data with Do-Hyeon and his scientific team. The most concerning thing isn't the espionage, said Dr. Jiho, the lead physicist. It's what we found in the Council's scientific archives they gave us access to. He brought up images of planetary devastation, worlds torn apart, massive craters, entire continents reduced to ash. Every species that has ever attempted to harness dark matter has suffered catastrophic accidents, Jiho explained. Entire research planets destroyed. Millions dead. Kim stared at the images in shock. But we've been working with it safely for years. Exactly, Do-Hyeon said quietly. Now we know why they're so desperate to get our technology. It's not just about military advantage. We've accomplished something they consider impossible. Kim nodded slowly. And that makes us either the most valuable allies in the galaxy, or the most dangerous threat they've ever encountered, Do-Hyeon finished. Outside the viewport, the stars shone peacefully, giving no hint of the ancient fears and new tensions building among them. Dr. Jaso Lee had been working for 72 hours straight. Her lab in the secure underground facility beneath Seoul was filled with holographic brain scans, quantum field measurements, and cups of half-finished coffee. As Earth's leading quantum neurologist, she had been given an urgent assignment: figure out why humans could safely manipulate dark matter when every other known species could not. There has to be something, she muttered, comparing the neural patterns of human test subjects with the alien brain scans provided by the Galactic Council. The differences were subtle but significant. Her assistant, Dr. Juno, entered with fresh data. The latest comparative analysis is ready, he said, his voice tired but excited. I think you need to see this. He displayed a three-dimensional model showing human brainwave patterns during dark matter interaction. Tiny connections between neurons flickered with unusual energy signatures. Run it next to the alien patterns, Lee instructed. When the comparison appeared, the difference became obvious. Where human brains showed intricate quantum entanglement patterns that resonated at the same frequency as dark matter fields, alien brains showed destructive interference patterns. That's it, Lee whispered, her exhaustion forgotten. It's like we have built-in quantum stabilizers in our neural structure. She worked rapidly, documenting her findings. Human consciousness itself had a unique property that naturally harmonized with dark matter. When aliens attempted similar manipulation, the conflicting patterns created cascading quantum disruptions, with catastrophic results. We need to contact Dr. Kim immediately, Lee said. This changes everything. On the diplomatic station, Dr. Kim received the report with growing amazement. The scientific team gathered in their secure meeting room, faces serious as they digested the implications. Dr. Lee is calling it the quantum soul theory, Kim explained to Admiral Park, who joined via secure holographic link. Something in human neural architecture naturally resonates with dark matter fields. We don't fight against the quantum fluctuations, we harmonize with them. Park frowned. So aliens can't safely use our technology even if they steal it? Correct, said Kim. Any attempt would likely result in disaster for them. The question is, do we share this knowledge with the Council? After intense debate, they decided transparency might build trust. Kim requested an emergency session with the Council representatives. As he explained Lee's findings, the reactions around the table were dramatic. The reptilian species scales changed color rapidly. The crystalline beings vibrated at visible frequencies. Several smaller species huddled together, clearly disturbed. You claim this ability is biological, asked Yuna, her light dimming. An accident of evolution? Yes, Kim replied. Not something we engineered or can easily transfer to other species. The council chamber erupted in multiple languages, the translation systems struggling to keep up. Kim could see the delegates splitting into clear factions before his eyes. Some leaned forward with expressions of hope and fascination. Others pulled back, their body language showing fear or disgust. This changes the fundamental balance of power in the galaxy, declared a representative of the scholarly archivists, a species dedicated to knowledge preservation. Humans could become teachers, helping us all safely harness dark energy. Or they could destroy us all with a thought, countered 1J, the Empire's representative. A species with such power cannot be trusted. The debate raged for hours. Kim could see the coalition building among those who viewed humans as potential partners. But equally concerning was the hardening resolve of those who now saw humanity as an existential threat. When the session finally ended, High Mediator Yuna approached Kim privately. Your honesty is appreciated, she said, her crystalline structure pulsing gently. But I must warn you. The Empire will not accept this new reality peacefully. They believe power must be controlled or eliminated. They will not risk the emergence of a species they cannot contain. Kim nodded gravely. We suspected as much. Earth wishes only peace and cooperation. I believe you, Yuna replied. But prepare yourselves nonetheless. Her warning proved prophetic. Less than 6 hours later, Admiral Park contacted the diplomatic team with urgent news. Long-range sensors have detected a large fleet departing Empire space, she reported, her holographic image grim. Trajectory analysis confirms they're heading directly for the solar system. We're looking at over 50 warships, including their heaviest dreadnoughts. Kim felt a cold weight in his stomach. How long until they arrive? 3 days at their current speed. The council members loyal to us are providing intelligence, but they can't openly oppose the Empire without fracturing the council completely. Kim looked around at his team's worried faces. Then Earth stands alone against this threat. Admiral Park's expression hardened with resolve. Not alone, Doctor. We have our dark matter fleet. And now, thanks to Dr. Lee, we understand exactly why our technology works for us. And why they're so afraid of it, Kim added quietly. Outside the station viewport, the stars continued their eternal dance, unaware that humanity's unique connection to the dark spaces between them was about to be tested in fire. The rings of Saturn glowed golden in the sunlight as Admiral Jaiwan Park positioned her fleet in a defensive formation. Earth had evacuated its outer colonies, bringing all civilians behind the protection of Mars. Now 12 dark matter warships, humanity's entire fleet, prepared to face an enemy force 5 times their size. Empire fleet dropping out of faster-than-light travel, reported Captain Hyun-jin from her tactical station. 53 vessels. They're deploying in attack formation. Park studied the holographic display showing the enemy ships, massive dreadnoughts surrounded by smaller but heavily armed cruisers and fighters. In conventional terms, the battle was already lost. But the dark matter fleet was anything but conventional. All ships activate phase shields, Park ordered. Remember our strategy. Disable when possible. We want to end this conflict, not escalate it. The UES Prometheus led the human fleet forward, their obsidian hulls seeming to absorb the very starlight around them. As they approached Saturn's rings, Park put the next phase of her plan into motion. Activate the ring accelerators. Dark matter projectors had been placed throughout Saturn's rings days earlier. Now they activated, creating gravitational distortions that launched streams of ice particles at near-light speeds. A natural asteroid belt transformed into a precision weapon. The Empire fleet commander, clearly surprised by this tactic, split his forces to avoid the particle streams. Exactly as Park had hoped. Groups 1 and 2, execute phase jump now, she ordered. 8 human warships simply vanished from normal space, their dark matter drives allowing them to shift partially out of conventional reality. When they reappeared seconds later, they were behind and inside the Empire fleet's formation. The battle that followed would later be described in Galactic Council records as a revolution in warfare. Human ships moved through dimensions the Empire sensors couldn't detect, appearing inside their defensive shields, firing precision weapons that disabled engines and weapons systems without destroying vessels completely. When Empire ships fired their advanced energy weapons, the blasts passed harmlessly through human vessels that shifted partially out of phase at the exact moment of impact. From her command chair, Park directed the battle with calm precision. This wasn't just combat, it was a message. Humanity could have annihilated the Empire fleet effortlessly but chose restraint instead. After 30 minutes, 42 Empire ships floated powerless, their systems offline. The remaining vessels retreated to a defensive position around their flagship, a massive dreadnought 3 times the size of the Prometheus. "We've intercepted communications from their flagship," said Lieutenant J. Huan. "Their supreme commander is personally leading this attack." Park nodded. "Open a channel." The main screen filled with the image of a tall, imposing figure with ceremonial battle scars across his face. Supreme Commander Tejo's expression was a mixture of rage and disbelief. "This battle is lost," Park said simply. "Your ships are disabled, not destroyed. Your crews are alive. Stand down and return to your territory." Tejo's face hardened. "The Empire does not surrender." "This isn't about surrender," Park replied. "It's about recognizing a stalemate. We have no interest in conquest." "Pretty words from the victors," Tejo snarled. "But the Empire will not live under the threat of your dark matter weapons. If we cannot win." His hand moved to a control panel off-screen. Park's tactical officer shouted, "Energy spike in their flagship's core. They're initiating a matter-antimatter cascade." If the dreadnought's core detonated, it would create a temporary black hole that would destroy everything within Saturn's orbit, including the human fleet. Park made an instant decision. Prometheus will phase directly to their bridge. Just the ship, not weapons hot. Her officers stared in shock. No vessel had ever attempted to phase into the exact space occupied by another ship. The calculations would need to be perfect, Hyunjin warned. One miscalculation. "Then be perfect," Park said firmly. "Execute now." The Prometheus's dark matter drive engaged, shifting the vessel partially out of normal space. For a moment, the entire ship existed in 2 realities simultaneously, then it reappeared with its bridge section merged impossibly with the Empire flagship's command center. A strange sight greeted both crews. 2 bridges occupied the same space, separated only by a shimmering dark matter field that allowed visibility but prevented physical contact. Empire officers drew weapons, but they couldn't penetrate the quantum barrier. Park stood from her chair and faced Supreme Commander Tejo directly, separated by mere meters of quantum-shifted space. "We could have destroyed your entire fleet," she said calmly. "We chose not to. This is not who we are. This is not who you need to be either." Tejo stared at the impossible physics before him, a human warship existing partially in the same space as his own vessel. "Our scientists said this was theoretically impossible," he whispered. "Yet here we are," Park replied. "Now deactivate your core. Let's find a better way forward than mutual destruction." For long moments, Tejo stood frozen in indecision. Then slowly, he lowered his hand from the detonation controls. 2 weeks later, representatives from all Council species gathered on Earth's orbital station to sign the historic Void Pact, an agreement that would guide responsible dark matter research throughout the galaxy, with humans serving not as conquerors but as teachers and partners in safely harnessing the power between the stars.